In this section, we're going to go over the parts of a typical annual report. Now, annual reports will differ. Some reports will be glossy with a lot of colored pictures, and others will be very plain, just in black and white print. And that does not have any effect on the worthiness of the company. It is just management's belief on how much money should be put into the annual report. Sometimes you'll see a very plain report, just black and white print on paper, no glossy images, and it's a very good company. The management just does not believe in putting in a lot of money to record numbers to the stockholders. They'd rather put that money in something else. But what annual reports have in common are the following. And a lot of this information is mandated to be in this report by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Securities and Exchange Commission wants to ensure that every potential stockholder and stockholder has all the information needed to invest or discontinue investing in a company. And the annual report should state enough information so someone can make a wise decision on whether to invest or not. The first section generally tends to be the highlights, and this is where a brief history of the company is written about, its products and its business lines, as well as a brief narrative summary of the previous year's activities and general information. Second part is the Executive Officer Letter. This is a letter from the Executive Officer, a CEO, or the President, stating to the shareholders and discussing the company's key successes and perhaps explaining some faults. A lot of people will label this as a fluff piece. They're going to accentuate the positives and they're going to keep the negatives in the shadow. That is understandable. So you want to take this letter with a grain of salt. The next part is the auditor's report. All publicly traded companies have to make sure that their books have been audited for the veracity of the numbers and to ensure that proper controls have been put in place in the company to hinder fraud and theft. And this report will tell the investor or potential investor whether the numbers are accurate and whether there are any concerns about the future operations of the business. Many people take the change in auditors for a company as a red flag. Why did they change auditors? Was there a dispute with the past auditors? So you want to do a little history about the auditors and what type of report they have issued for this company. The next part is the management's discussion and analysis. And this is where you'll find management discussion on the financial results that impact the company's operations. This is where we start to get into the meat and potatoes. The next part are the financial statements. And this is the balance sheet and income statement and cash flow statement, amongst other reports that will judge the health of the company. But you are going to have to investigate further in the annual report to find out what makes up these numbers. For example, the next section has notes to the financial statements. Let's just say there has been a huge increase in cash holdings from last year. That is great. But maybe it is from the sale of a discontinued line of operation that was not profitable for some reason. Maybe it was a sale of an operation that was profitable but the company needed cash to pay off its debt. So the notes are where you're going to find any significant information related to the financial statements. The financial statements show a picture of the company. The notes will tell you who is in these pictures, how tall they are, and who they are related to. It will go into the nitty-gritty. And the other parts of an annual report will be the listing of the company's key executives and managers, the officers, the locations of the businesses, board members, and possibly any other information that would be pertinent that is not listed in the other sections. But this, in general, is what the annual report consists of, and we will go over in detail what each section entails by going over actual annual reports. So do not be daunted by this list. If you do not know how to read a financial statement, what an income statement is, or a balance sheet, or a statement of cash flows, do not worry. We are going to go over financial statements as well as common accounting lingo.